Hello friends, welcome to the next part of GTO series. In this series, we are going to cover the next obstacle, that is this one. And in this obstacle, we have done in last video to bring our last person from back direction. In this video, we will cover the solutions for forward direction. So as you can see, there is this pole, and obviously there's some ideas that should come in your brain, is that by taking help of this structure to make the front support, and from these two structures making the back support. So let's evaluate how many types we can do in this specific obstacle. So for very first idea, what you can simply do, always try first idea with minimum use of rope, because wherever you will use rope, it will take your time. So in this obstacle, if I don't want to use the rope, then what can I do? I can simply use this central standing thing, and I will put my plank over here. But as you can see, the issue is it will touch the ground when the load will be there. So what can I do? There are two things that we can do. The first thing is that I can put my small bully or larger bully over here at this point, but still the height is very much more and it is touching the ground. And what else I can do? I can use my another bully, that is small bully, under this. So these two things I can do at one time. So if I use this thing, then I am able to make the solution. I hope it is visible. So either bully you can use on the this larger bully at this point or this point, you can use this, and you can see it is not touching ground and it is a stable idea. So this should be your first approach, because in first approach always avoid tiding rope, because it will take your time. So the second approach should be, what we can do, we can put this plank here, and then we can take help from this either of these two poles to make the structure. So in this case we have to use rope. So let's do that. What I need to do, we have to tie a rope on the back pole and then make a loop over here from either of the two poles. So what I'm going to do, I'm just simply making a loop by using both the poles, and then I will put my plank under that. But if the height is more, then you have to think something else, because it will be very much heightened and there will be risk of any injury. So in that case you have to think something else. But if height is not much more, then you can take help. And even GTO also make sometime complicated by denying the idea. Okay, this idea is done, candidate, you have to think something else. So in that case also, this multiple ideas approach will be helpful for you. So you can see, when we put load in the front, or we can extend it in forward direction, and we can use this specific idea. So when we put the load, it will stable. In this case, this fatta is small, so that's why it is not stabling. But once we put the load, it will be stay stable. So this is these are two simple ideas which every candidate should have in the brain whenever to see these kind of obstacle. Now let's discuss some of the complicated or some good ideas, logical ideas. So what else we can do? We can make a loop over here, and then we will put our plank under this. So let's try that idea. What we can do, and while making the loop, keep in mind to use that is hanging thing. Rather than tying the rope at two places, you can just tie it at one place simply, like this. It will save your time. Simply what you can do, just make a loop and then make a single knot. So it will save your time. So rather tying at 2 points, you can just tie at 1 point, and then for back support, what we are doing, we are just putting under that back pole like this. So in this case also, we have to keep applying the load here, otherwise it will slide. So when I'm putting the load, it will be remain stable, and without load, this, as this plank is small, it is not getting stable here. So I have kept this plank small so that I can explain more ideas and create some more complexity. And this could be done with either of the two poles, like on the either the left one or right one. Both will be workable for you. In this case, I have kept them at different heights. I'll also tell the use of that. So So this is again a quite we can say a simpler idea. So let's move on to the next idea which you can think. Suppose in this case this whole upper thing is red or out of bound for you. So in that case you have to think something else, and what we can do, we can make our front support from these two poles. So while making the front support from these two poles, we have to tie a rope on these two poles. So let's tie the rope, and then what we need to do, we just have to use it as a front support. So I have tied this rope, and now I can use either of the two poles as the front support. Make sure you keep the rope tight and the inclination you want, so you can adjust that height as per the inclination required by you in your obstacle, and like this we can make the solution. So when I'm putting the load, it is getting stable, and you can use either of the two poles. Again, you have the choice. So these are the four basic ideas you can apply in this specific obstacle. And if we move on to any other idea, so what we can do, we can also tie our bully here, and we can use our rope here on these two. So if we tie bully, then what will be the advantage? The advantage will be the front support will be more rigid. Sometimes the height of these obstacles will be quite less, and you will find that your plank is touching the ground. So in that case you have to use bully for front support, so that you can get that rigidity which you want. So what you can do, simply just tie the bully and then use this bully as a front support. Make sure you tie it tightly. I am avoiding to tie it tightly because it will consume more time and it will waste our time, but in SSB you have to tie so that you can cross easily. So I am just giving the example, so I am not tying it much tightly, so that I can untie it quickly. So like this, after tying, you have to adjust its height, and then you have to, I'm not able to tie this, stop it by tying loosely, so I have to make it little bit rigid. But again, that is dependent upon the knots you are tying. I have also uploaded a special video on knots, so you can watch that also. So like this you can use it. So when I'm putting the load, it is getting stable like this. So these are the ideas which you can apply on these kind of obstacles. And if I tell you about this height difference, so sometime what we can do, we can also put our bully in between like this, and then also sometime we can use it. If we putting our bully, sometime these are at a corner, so in that case if we put our bully and tie our bully from here, and then we can use this as a back support. So if it is at an angle, like if I rotate it like this, so in that case we can use it for the back support and tying our plank here. So these kind of idea I will cover in the next video. So for today, let's keep it till here. Thank you and stay tuned, and for more videos please do subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you.